Hey everyone, and welcome back to AFC Game by Game. This is my preview for the match on Sunday. Arsenal travelling up north to play Liverpool. Now, first of all, there's a couple of things to get off the agenda, and that is the just mental, ridiculous, obscene, absurd transfer news that's been going on surrounding Arsenal in these past 24-48 hours. Last night, breaking reports that Oxlade Mustafi, our £35 million signing last summer from Valencia, is on his way to Inter Milan, either on a loan deal or a permanent transfer, if we can recoup the £35 million that we paid for him last summer. Cannot get my head around it. Really cannot. It's bewildering that Mustafi, after having just 12 months at the club, is already potentially departing Arsenal. Now, I don't know how much to believe of this. It comes off of Sky Italia. As we know, in recent weeks, in recent years, in fact, Sky haven't been the most reliable source when it comes to transfer news, but it does seem to be becoming more and more concrete that this could be a potential deal that could happen. Arsene Wenger came out in his press conference and said, when quizzed about Mustafi, that he doesn't want to talk about individual cases, so he wasn't direct in saying that he wants Mustafi to stay at Arsenal Football Club. He wasn't adamant that he was going to be an Arsenal player this season. Maybe he's a player that hasn't impressed Arsene Wenger these past 12 months. I think Mustafi, when he first joined the club, had some very impressive games, maybe dipped a little bit, but I thought it was very impressive towards the back end of last season, being that spear in the middle of a back three. So for him to leave out, I just think he's 25 years old as well, still very young in terms of a central defender. He's got a lot to offer Arsenal Football Club. So for him to leave after just a year, that year where he beds into the team, beds into England, I think that's the biggest problem of all. For him to leave after that tiny amount of time is astonishing, and to go to Inter Milan of all clubs, I mean, with all due respect to them, I think he could do better than that. I think he's a very, very technically gifted footballer. I think there's areas of his game where he's a bit chaotic, but again, a player that I think has got a lot to offer Arsenal Football Club, especially in this new system where he can play either in the right centre-back role, or as he proved towards the end of last season, in the middle of a three. Very good defender to have in the team, and with the departure of Gabriel, Callum Chambers has been left in the dark. Rob Holding, just 21 years of age. I mean, it would be absurd to let him go, especially when Koscielny's coming up to 32. Mertesacker is leaving at the end of the season. Very, very, very light in terms of central defenders at the minute. So even if Mustafi is to stay, I still think we need to be in the market for someone following the departure of Gabriel, and it really does remain to be seen what's going to happen with Callum Chambers. There have been reports that after the international break, Callum Chambers will be coming back into the team, as he's just nursing a slight injury at the minute. We'll have to see how that one pans out, but I think Holding's going to be in the team for this game against Liverpool. And yeah, I mean, I think Holding's got a big part to play now. If Mustafi is going to lead the club, it will be a lot of weight on his shoulders. Not the kind of pressure you'd want to put on a 21-year-olds, but I can only hope that if Mustafi is to leave, then we are in for someone like Virgil van Dijk. There has to be some sort of plan, some sort of strategy. Arsene Wenger has to know what he's doing, and time is not on his side. With just a couple of days left of the transfer window, it's worrying, and I don't see Arsenal making any big signs. I think if we lose Mustafi, we've got to buy another centre half. If we keep Mustafi, then it doesn't put the pressure on us to buy someone like Virgil van Dijk, because we've already got the insurance in someone like Mustafi. We still need more players, especially in midfield and possibly in an attacking role as well. The Lamar deal seems to be off, but I still think this team needs a few more additions if we are to see Arsenal succeed. Other quick transfer news is, of course, that Kieran Gibbs looks to be on his way to Watford. £5 million deal there. I wish him all the best. Been a great servant to Arsenal Football Club. I hope he gets regular playing time and everyone sees him for the class fullback that he actually is. I think he got a lot of undeserved criticism during the latter stage of his Arsenal career. I wish Kieran Gibbs all the best. And yeah, I said into a slightly smaller transfer news, but this is quite a big talking point. It is, of course, Alex Oxlade Chamberlain and his rumoured departure to Chelsea Football Club. £35 million deal is on the cards. He's supposedly turned down a £180,000 deal a week from Arsenal, and I mean, is he a player that's worth that amount of money? No, definitely not. It's ridiculous to think that he's even worth close to that amount of money. Oxlade Chamberlain is a player that I admire a lot. I think he's very, very good at areas of his game, taking it past players. I think he's exceptional at doing that. Where he really needs to work on his game is putting it into the box, scoring goals. He doesn't get anywhere near enough assists, anywhere near enough goals. His conversion rate is very, very poor. But he's a player that I want to see develop at Arsenal. But I think time is running out for him. At 24 years old now, he's a man. He's a fully grown player. He should be entering the prime of his career. I don't think he's done that with Arsenal just yet. Looked very promising in that right wing-back role, but if he wants a new chapter in his career, then I think Arsenal are going to have to open the door to him. We've got someone in line as well in Reece Nelson. I think he's a cracking player at 17 years old, seems to be more talented, seems to have, I think he's got more technical ability, and a player that over pre-season really did impress me. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but the way he's performed for the under-23s, very, very good player we've got on our hands, and I hope that he has a future at Arsenal Football Club if Oxlade Chamberlain is to leave Arsenal this summer. Arsenal have to make a decision with this one. Do we want to let him go on a free next year? Do we want to cash in for £35 million? I think it would be silly not to take that kind of money for a player like Oxlade Chamberlain. As I say, I'm a big admirer of him. I love to keep English players, but let's be brutally honest, has he done it for Arsenal at the top level? There's a big emotional attachment to Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Don't get me wrong, I've got that as well. I love to see the guy playing. I love English players. I want Arsenal to have as many English and British players in the team as possible. But for me, he just hasn't quite cut the mustard just yet, and I think he's still got some developing in his career to go, and I think under a manager like Antonio Conte, maybe that will give him the spark to be the player that I think we all want him to be, but unfortunately he'll be that player at another club. But maybe that's something that he needs. It will be annoying to sell him to Chelsea, a potential title rival, but yeah, it's a difficult one, and Arsene Wenger has to make a decision. I think as well, a lot of this could very well be talk coming out of his agent's mouth. I've heard as well this summer, I'm not claiming to be in the know in any way, shape or form, just going off what I've seen on Twitter, but that apparently he is happy at Arsenal. It's just his agent playing up, which I could very well believe. We know how agents play this game. We know that they want to get the best deal possible for the players, but also for themselves. But if he has allegedly turned down £180,000 a week, I mean, that just shows the faith that Arsenal have in him. Whether that be blind faith or not remains to be seen. But I think he's a player that's not worth close to that. I think he's still got a lot of work to go in his career, and I don't think he'd be the worst loss of all if he was to go this summer. The worst loss would have, of course, be Alexis Sanchez, who is back in the team for this game against Liverpool. Very excited to see him back. It's a no-brainer for me that he's got to start this game. The front three picks itself: Ozil, Alexis and Lacazette up front. On the topic of the front three, I might as well go through my full team lineup just to kick off, really, my discussion of this game. Petr Cech in goal. It's going to be Hector Bellerin in that right wing-back position. The back three, even though there's speculation that he's leaving the club, Mustafi, I'd play him alongside Laurent Koscielny and Nacho Monreal at left centre-back. And then in the left wing-back role has to be Kolasinac playing there. A midfield two of Xhaka and Ramsey. And as you know, my front three, Alexis, Ozil and Lacazette. Exciting team, should be capable of getting goals defensively. Suspect. I'm excited to see Koscielny coming back into the side. I'd start Mustafi probably on the right-hand side where he can get up the pitch that a bit more. We've seen before that he's quite good at taking on a man. Will this transfer speculation play into his game? I'd certainly hope not. I think, to be honest, it could well be a back three of Monreal, Koscielny and Rob Holding. I think I've just got an inkling that that's what it could be. And I know that a lot of people really do want to see Oxlade Chamberlain playing in that right wing-back role, but if he is to be leaving the club with all this talk getting to what I wouldn't hope it'd go to his head, but I do think that he's going to play a part in his performance. I'd play Hector Bellerin there. The midfield two, Xhaka Ramsey, I think picks itself, very attack-minded, but I think we're going to need that in this game. I would hope there's a little bit more defensive stability. Having that back three should allow us to play more fluid players such as Xhaka and Ramsey. Xhaka's got to be a lot more disciplined in his game, and I'd hope that Ramsey is able to provide that discipline, saying that Ramsey is probably the player that is going to bomb forward the most. So relying on those two to bond, have a bit of chemistry and just stay true to their roles, I think that's very important in this game. Kolasinac, left wing back, has to play there. Just, it's a no-brainer that he's got to play in that role. He's wasted as a centre half, to be brutally honest. I don't want to see him playing there again. He's a left wing back. He's very good at taking on a man. He's very good at getting in the box, providing assists. He was the left back of the year at Schalke last year in the Bundesliga. So yeah, no doubts whatsoever that he's got to be playing in that role. And then the two behind the striker, Alexis and Ozil, as it was last season, and then Lacazette up front. Excited to see how he'll perform with those two magicians in behind him. But interesting times going into this game. Liverpool, I think they've got a very exciting team. Jurgen Klopp is building something very, very interesting at Liverpool with the likes of Salah and Mane in that team. I think they're very dangerous on the flanks. Coutinho looks to be on his way from Liverpool, whether that be to Barcelona or not. With them bringing in Dembele, I'm not too sure, but I don't think he'll be in the team for this game. So very, very difficult Liverpool side that we're coming up against. Been playing some very good football recently, getting some good results, and I think it's going to be a struggle for us to go to Anfield and come away with 3 points. I hope we're able to, though. It's going to be a very fluid, a very exciting game. I just hope it's not the kind of performance that we saw from Arsenal last season, because that was appalling away from home in Liverpool. And yeah, all round, after that defeat at Stoke, I'm not overly looking forward to this game, to be brutally honest with you. I'm still kind of leeching off the hype that the football season's back, and I'm hoping Arsenal can restore some faith in, well, my faith in the team by getting a win at Anfield on Sunday. Anyway guys, please do drop a like on the video if you have enjoyed it. Subscribe to AFC Game by Game, and I'll be speaking to you very, very soon.